everybody. Today on the Warlock, I'm going to add the hidden winch setup that was for the TRX that I sold. It's designed to fit 1500s, so it doesn't matter that it was for a TRX. It's just there's actually less steps I have to do to install it. So this is slightly revised from the last one I did, because that was like the first one that came out before production. This one he's added bolts here with slots that you can like hang this. It makes it easier for this part. And I can't remember if the winch holes on the other one was slotted for your adjustment, but this is where it's going to come out through the bottom of the bunker. And then it gives you a decent amount of shim stacks. This is going to extend it out so that your winch line protrudes out the front where your fairlead is going to be. So this will be out front, but there's a couple extra that he gives you for, you could put it where you want to put it. I remember on the last one I did, I don't remember, but these bolts, I think I needed to get different ones. It wasn't a big deal, but I think I needed longer ones, but we'll see what these end up being. But it wasn't, these are the last bolts you put in. So when you're done, when it's all on the bumper, this is gonna go through into the base of the winch where the threaded nuts are, and this will tighten that down. So we'll see where we're at, because it's also probably gonna depend on the thickness that you're using with this to see how far it's gonna come out the back. But I'm thinking this truck's gonna be a lot easier because I don't have the cooler to move, the oil cooler. I don't have to put the bracket up and get all that stuff done for the oil cooler. It's basically pull the bumper off, put this up there, and then cut the bumper for this part. But other than that, and when I say cut it, you're just cutting the plastic part at the bottom. There's a little insert. So mine is solid. So I'm assuming I might have to take it out to cut it. Not really sure, because when you cut it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're cutting a hole so this fits through. This is larger, so if you make some jagged cuts or whatever, that's all going to be covered up by this. So it's not something you're going to see. And then there's no skid plate to put back. I don't have to but there's skid plate brackets and stuff that I'm not going to need. So I'm thinking it's just going to be pretty quick. So in comparison, so I got to get this on this setup. There's two sets of holes. You can see another set. The lower set was for the TRX. And the upper set is for a standard 1500. So there's that. I just left these all loose because, like what I did with the other one, those were loose. I got it hung up on the bumper brackets, and then if it was where I wanted it to be, I tighten it up. And this is all nice hardware too. They're all lock nuts and stuff. So, yeah, I figured what the hell, let's just do it. And I am going to put in back here, that's going on it. So it's just a nice thing to have. All right, bumper removal is super easy on a regular non-TRX truck. You see those studs there? That's where the active air dam goes on. And then you have 3 bolts on each side, which are in the back. There's studs in the bumper. So you have to unplug the active air dam. And then there's a giant plug here that you just undo, and that undoes the lights for... Okay, so what I did because probably I would say the hardest part of this whole thing, as far as lining stuff up, is this part here, because this has to come through this grill. So what I did was from behind, I drilled, you see that metal inside? I ran the edges and drilled this way towards me to locate this first opening. And then I hogged it out, and then I drilled these holes, which is going to center where this goes. And now I marked the grill on the outside so I can finish it off. That way these stacks will protrude out through the bumper. Okay, after further review, I decided to go with the lower bolt sides of TRX because it just brought it down just enough because it seemed a bit high, and this can be adjusted up anyway. So I already test fitted the bumper. It's going to be pretty much like this is going to be up, maybe like this high. So I got that hole cut out. The next thing is I'm going to hammer down on all these bolts for good, and then probably mount the winch up in there, and then put the bumper on. Okay, so I previously marked the back with a Sharpie where it went, so I got this located where I want it to be. So here is the winch. So for this, it needs to be mounted face down with the cable coming off the top, and it's going to come out through that slot there. So there's just a ground cable I got to hook up, and this it looks like it came with a relocation kit, but I'm not going to do that. It did come with a kill switch, which is nice. So this is gonna, you can shut the power off to the winch when you're not using it. I was gonna use one of those aux switches I just put in, but you know, for the power to the actual remote. But if you just kill the whole, that's just gonna kill the whole thing. So you just have to open the hood and turn it, so no big deal there. So now I just got to be able to pick this thing up, stick it up in there. So and the bolts that he sent in the kit, they are the same threads as the square nuts that go into this winch, so that's a plus. So I'm gonna hook up this negative, and then I'm gonna muscle this thing up in there. It's gonna be a little pain in the ass, I think, at first, but once it's started, it's fine. Okay, after some muscling, I got it up in there. So as you can see, when it gets to about the halfway point, it'll be, so it's starting here, it'll work its way to be right at the bottom here, but usually don't use that much rope. But anyway, I got these bolts started in the top because these are locating the up and down height of the winch, and then I went ahead and tightened these down, so now I can take these out and put the bumper on, and then after the bumper's on, I can stack the shims in here and then put these bolts back in with the fair lead on it. And then after that, it's just hooking these wires up, but it's almost done. So it just, you know, doing it by yourself, it just took a little muscling to get this thing up in here, because yeah, it's a little heavy. So I'm interested to see if a leveling kit might be in order after it. It's not that heavy, I mean, but it might be enough to drop it a little bit. Okay, so it's all done. Up here, here's the switch. Right now I got it on. As you see, this controller's powered up. This is wireless, but I have to, I don't know if I got to put a battery in it or what, but, or if there's some way to charge it. Anyway, I got it on right now, off. So in normal use, you just have it off And so as you can see, I cut a little window here for that. It's grounded to the battery on the other side. So under here, you can see the air dam's back on. It's not in the way of anything. Should I get better light? Now, right now I have this plugged in, and you will be able to reach this handle. Now, if you had the TRX or something with a skid plate, you would not be able to do it, and you'd have to leave it engaged all the time and not free spool it pretty much ever. So yeah, and then you just have the power wires running there, and they just go up. I cut a hole through that right there, and just have them zip tied on the way up. So we'll send it out. It does have a very fast, when it pulls it in. So pretty happy with that. Okay, as far as the wireless option, or the wireless option for that remote, you just have to hold the button down for 2 seconds and then it'll turn on. It takes like CR2032 batteries, like 2 of those, so it works. It's charged up. Well, I mean, you don't charge it, you just replace the batteries. So here it is. Now, if I didn't like the color of the gray fair lead, I could easily remove that. So all you need to do would be to winch the line out a little bit, take the hook off, and take the 2 screws out and switch it. You don't need to disassemble anything else. You could just do it all right there. So that's not a big deal. So yeah, I'm liking it. It's coming along. I was able to source the parts to switch out the fuel tank to a 33 gallon, the biggest one, because it's got a 23 right now. And I was hoping that, I was hoping it would at least had a 26, but it doesn't even have that. So I guess a lot of these e-torques come with a 23. So my thought is, if I get the 33 gallon tank, this thing will have a range of like 500-600 miles before I have to fill it up. So that would be pretty cool. So, and especially if I'm towing, it'll at least go, 350, depending if I'm pulling that big ass trailer, or the boat would be different. But that'll be coming up pretty soon. Waiting on the tow mirrors. I don't know, they're lost somewhere. And the wheel spacers, whenever they come in, I got Bora stainless steel one. So if you like what you see, please hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.